Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Poppies fans, wherever you may be, to the Premier Plus Stadium, the home of St Neots Town Football Club on non-league day, where Kettering Town are the visitors. Here we have the team news, and we'll put that up on the screen for you now. Bear with me just a second. You'll see the team lineups, which we'll go through in just a little bit, in probably a few minutes or so. We're about 10 minutes from kick-off, and Kettering have got a very difficult game here against a good St Neots Town side who won midweek in the FA Cup replay, coming back from 3-1 down. But joining me to my left, as usual, is Mr. Paul Cook.
Afternoon, Ed. How are you?
Yes, not too bad. How are you?
Absolutely average.
Fantastic. Yes, St Neots midweek FA Cup, 3-1 down, came back to win the replay there in the next round as well. That'll give them a little bit of confidence, won't it?
It will. I mean, they drew 2-2 here at the Premier Plus on the Saturday, scoring the equalising goal by Nabil Sheriff, ex-Kettering Town, of one game in the 95th minute. And all being, I think at the replay, they scored 2 late goals to draw 3-3, and as you say, 1 on penalties. So they'll be really chipper. They'll have their tails up for this game. And of course they'll want to avenge that 4-2 defeat on Boxing Day of last season, where Matt Stevens' goal was voted by the Poppies fans as goal of the season, which was scored on our right hand side here. But in the league they've only really got 9 points, and they've scored 6 goals and they conceded 6 goals, so they're not doing so well in the league. They drew with Hitchin 0-0, they beat Banbury United 3-1, that's half their goals in one game. Drew with Hales Owen, lost to a team I can't mention to down the road from Kettering. Drew 0-0 with Kings Lynn, lost at home to Russell Olympic. They beat Bedworth, and they lost on the opening day of the season to Stratford Town 1-0. So it is the FA Cup, a bit like Kettering, where they are really proving their worth, and they face a team beginning with A at Alfreton. As we know, we go to Aldershot in the FA Cup next week. Kettering with 21 points, just 2 ahead of Colville in the league, who are the surprise size this season, Ed.
They are, yeah, they're certainly coming on strong. I mean, it's still early days, but you never know. There's still chance for them to fall away or stick with the pack. You never know at this early stage in the season. But Kettering have got to make sure that the cup competitions don't become a distraction, although we will all be distracted next Saturday away at Aldershot. I understand there's 2 coach loads going down, as well as everyone else who going down in cars and trains and lives nearby and things like that. So it'll be a really good atmosphere, and it'll be a game where Kettering have got no pressure on them, and I think it's just a case of a good day out, isn't it? Go and enjoy it, and if the result comes, the result comes. Of course, Aldershot not doing very well in the National League, so.
Well, their home form is pretty impressive. They've got 16 of their 17 points at home, so they are strong at the recreation ground. And I think, as you say, Kettering have got nothing to lose. It's going to be a good day out, but that's next week. It's a non-league day here at the Premier Plus Stadium. I thought there might be a few more home fans than there is at the moment after that exciting FA Cup win for the Saints. And of course, Kettering having the better of the statistics against St Neots, having won 10 to the Saints 3 times. The last time that St Neots won, of course, was 6-0 in the Southern League Challenge Cup. That was in 2016-17 here at the Premier Plus, and they won that fantastic game again, coming back from behind. They were 3-0 down. They beat the Poppies 4-3 in the Evo Stick Premier League in 2012-13. So we don't want a repeat of that or anything like it today.
No, Kettering are looking to stay at the top of the table, and I say they are only a couple of points up there, but if they keep winning, then no one's going to catch them. And of course, we will see how things go later on in the season. Of course, we're not that far into it. We're only a couple of months in. There's still a long way to go until we get to April next year. So a lot of football to be played, but all eyes on the Premier Plus Stadium, where St Neots Town will be walking out shortly in navy and sky blue, and Kettering in their white kit. If you've never been to the Premier Plus, we'll just describe it for you. You've got a really nice setup here, actually, an impressive main stand which does about the centre third of the pitch, and then to the left a open-aired standing area, same to the right. Behind each goal are an impressive terrace, a hard-standing brick terrace with sort of a tin roof on it, along the whole width of the pitch there, and then opposite, not a lot of room for development over there because they have got the train lines, and they've got an open-aired standing area all the way along the far side behind the dugouts. As we're getting, I think people are finally interested in what we're saying, but the teams must surely be ready to come out. We've got 5 minutes till kick-off, so we'll go through the team lineups. Paul, I'll let you do these ones.
Okay, for Kettering Town it is Paul White in goal. Number 2 is Darrell Berry. 4 is Brett Solkin. 6 is Michael Richens. 7 Lyndon Meikle. 10 Ben Milnes. 11 Rhys Honus. 12 Dion Kelly Evans. 14 Marcus Kelly. 15 Declan Towers. 18 Nathaniel Rowe Turner. And your subs today are 3 Ben Tosland. 9 Edmund Hotter, 13 Lewis Elsom, 16 Luke Graham and 17 Andrea Borg. For St Neots, it reads like this: Harry Reynolds, who made that great penalty save to win the game for them in mid-week, is in goal. Number 2, Matt Milnes. Captain 3 is Johnny Hurd. 4 is Harry O'Malley. 5, Tom Wood. 6, Taylor Parr. 7, Dion Semby Ferris, who used to play for Kettering FC. 8 is Russell Short. 9 is the much-travelled Nabal Sheriff. 10 Dylan Williams. 11 Claudia Afoso. And the substitutes for the Saints this afternoon are number 12 Devante Stanley, 14 Gary Wharton, 15 Dan O'Lanaran, and 16 Casey Douglas. So those are your lineups. And we're not too far away now from that kick-off, 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I can see the officials are in the tunnel. The referee Abby Marriott and assistant state Abdul Kadir and Matt Paul. So they are in the tunnel as well with the players and the young mascots there as well. They'll be walking out onto the pitch to rapturous applause in a second. There's a good number of Kettering Town fans travelled. Only took us about half an hour to get here, so it's not that far really down the road. And there are, as you say, after that. And of course there's quite a few home fans here as well after that. Those heroics in mid-week. Here they come then. Kettering playing, as we said, in their away kit last season. White shirts, red and black, trim across the shoulders, red shorts, red socks. And St Neots in their home strip of navy and sky blue. Navy shorts, sky blue socks. Paul White, all green, his opposite number. Harry Reynolds, all orange. And
he's been tangoed.
He has been tangoed, or any other soft drink if they want to pay us enough money to mention them. Marcus Law trudges out from the dugouts, making his way. Sorry, out of the tunnel, making his way.
It was a very lonely trudge out from Marcus Law, isn't it? He's very, very slow. He looks very sort of. He looks almost constipated as he's walking out there, doesn't he? But
likes to be left alone to his thoughts for the last few moments. The St Neots town kit, reminiscent of Wycombe Wanderers, isn't it? Really, a few years ago, with the quadrant design on it. It's young mascots there, and I think there's going to be a team photo with the FA Respect banner as well, which is good to see. The handshakes going on. Kettering are breaking away now to our right. All the Kettering fans there are going to have to move round, you would think, unless the coin toss is won and they change over. So no one really wanting to hedge their bets at the moment and make a movement round. Very interesting warm-up routine going on from St Neots. There's the duck duck goose going on over there, but the officials now go and check the nets, make sure that there's no larger holes in them than there should be, as Abby Marriott here does her final warm-ups, and Kettering do there.
Rather frightening, wasn't it, when she charged down here, the referee, yeah. Ponytail in the air there, looking at her watches, and very determined run that was. Very good music here as well. You probably can hear it in the background since last year when we came on Boxing Day. Superb music pre-match, and that has continued.
St Neots have the best music of any.
They do, don't they? They do indeed, and no programme though, so that sort of balances it up. So there we are. Well, the referee has blown the whistle. The captains are coming together in the centre circle. That's Johnny Hurd for the Saints and Michael Richens for Kettering Town. And have a little chat here, and
no
referee explaining.
Pointing, scratching, hair pulling, or gouging.
Gouging, yes.
Nice clean fight from everyone. Coin toss has been taken by the home captain, Johnny Hurd. And we are going to Stay where we are. Yeah. So Kettering Town fans now will make their way around, although a large amount of that stand or that terrace to our right are actually home fans. We're going to make some good noise. Let's hope that Kettering can join them in the noise stakes. But we are ready with the ball on the spot. Goalkeepers are ready. Officials are ready as well.
Yeah, a lot of movement around, isn't there?
Oh, look at that. Look at the swathes of Kettering fans moving as well, both sides. There could be some good noise inside the stadium today. We could be seeing a really, really good attendance for this fixture. It'll be interesting to see what it is. I wouldn't like to hazard a guess because it's quite a difficult ground to see all of the people at. But I
think they average around 230 to 300, don't they? And we're off. It's Honus. He plays the ball back to Richards. He pumps the ball forward straight to number 1, Harry Reynolds. His first touch of the ball. Takes a few trots in the penalty area. Delivers the ball high into the Kettering half. Sembi Ferris underneath it. Beaten to it though. Meikle has the ball. He's been held back. Referee doesn't give anything. It is Dylan Williams though on the far side, out to the penalty, might try a shot. Puts the ball to Roe Turner. He heads it high to Solkin. Solkin heads it, but not very well clear. The number 4 might have a little shot here. Ferris, his shot is blocked, and Meikle does clear, but it is straight to the number 2 there, Matt Mills. It is good movement here from the home side. A ball, long ball down, as I say that, and that should go out for a Kettering Town goal kick. So St Neots carrying on from that impressive victory at Colville, and their fans on our right hand side all in one corner, just beginning
it's
to
interesting, isn't it? They're not
sing.
behind the goal, they're all over to one side, but there's obviously some reasoning behind that. The Kettering Town fans are making their way. The majority of them are still making their journey to the far end of the ground. The one thing about non-league football, of course, just walking around the ground, no home and away ends. As a Seagull struggles on the pitch there against the wind, which has died down, thankfully, from last night, but is still relatively prominent. Solkin gets a boot on that one. It'll be a throw-in for St Neots as Roe Turner helps the ball out of play on this near side to our right. Kettering kicking from right to left, and St Neots naturally the opposite. As both sets of fans now get embroiled in a noise battle. Ball in play, nice little flick round the corner there. Ball put forward, Roe Turner hooks away over his head. Richards completes the header, and Meikle will chase it, but it will only come to Matt Miles, who puts the ball down the line again. That should be Darrell Berries. He takes a touch. He's being tugged and pulled, but nice little Cruyff turn, gets away up to Honus. Honus doesn't win the header, but Milnes will land on it. He's got Kelly Evans to his right. It's a poor pass, but Kelly Evans has managed to do something with it. Plays it down the line for Honus, and the number 6 it was, Taylor Parr, forced to put that one out into the train line in the 15:23 to somewhere. He's going to struggle with that one when it eventually gets here. Milnes with the ball then. Kelly Evans, that's a foul. Yeah, it was a foul. Player went through the back of Rhys Honus, nothing malicious in it, just tried to get the ball. Honus used his body well and drew the foul from him. So an early free kick for Kettering. It's going to be roughly about halfway inside the St Neots half, all the way on the far touchline, in front of the big Premier Plus Stadium banner that's over there. It's going to be Ben Milnes and Marcus Kelly standing over it. Solkin is up there, Declan Towers is in there as well. Roe Turner staying back. Look at how attacking St Neots are. St Neots have left 3 people up the pitch, and Kettering are going to struggle with this because there's a man free on the far side. If it breaks, ball goes in, it's too far. Straight to the goalkeeper, Harry Reynolds, and there could be a break here if he gets it out of his feet quickly, which he does out of his hands. Roe Turner's underneath it. Lets it go. Really good reading of the flight of the ball there from Roe Turner, all the way for a goal kick for Paul White to take.
Of course, Paul White made his debut in the 5-1 win here in 2016-17, so he's got good memories of this ground. He wasn't in goal when they lost 6-0 in the Southern League Challenge Cup in the same season, but Paul White will be desperate to keep a clean sheet again this afternoon. And he's about to take this goal kick on his 6-yard line. It enters play towards Honus, but Honus doesn't win that one. the number 4 O'Malley does, but Richards wins it back. Miscued by Tom Wood, but Kettering can't capitalise. Meikle has done though, but he puts the ball that Johnny Hurd should reach before Milnes. He pumps the ball forward towards Nabil Sheriff. He just gives the ball away though, and it is Meikle on the far side putting a ball through towards Honus, but it cannons off the number 6 O'Malley, but St Neots get the ball away, only to Richards, who heads it back to Marcus Kelly on the near side towards us. He finds Roe Turner. Turner back to Kelly. Kelly back to Turner. Turner looks up, plays the ball back to Darrell Berry in the Kettering half. Berry looks up, takes one touch, takes another, feeds the ball through to Marcus Kelly, but he was not going to reach there, and easily for Harry Reynolds. And it is an excellent kick there from the goalkeeper, but it's cut out by Roe Turner, flicks it through. Paul White's debut in his league debut at the Premier Plus Stadium. And of course his club debut was at Rushall Olympic in that exciting match.
Fantastic memories from you.
Came from the heavens, that one, didn't it? But there we are, we want to know about debuts. So Paul White is collecting the ball near the Mick George sign. That's another fiver, please, Mick. That's 0-0 here. We've not been kicked off.
Scoreboard's not working today.
Scoreboard's not working, so we're about 7 minutes into this first half. Yes, it's a normal electronic scoreboard on the far side, but as Ed says, that isn't... So White then delivers the ball towards Solkin, who remains up there. He's beaten to it. Berry pumps the ball to Kelly. Kelly flicks the ball over to Honus. Honus takes a lovely trap, goes round one, but is brought down. But in comes Meikle, feeds the ball through. It's cannons off the number 7, Sembi Ferris, who comes away with the ball. Tackle there, and Richards has fouled Sembi Ferris. Referee brings play back. I think that St Neots did have the advantage, but she brings it back, and that will be a free kick midway in the St Neots half. And referee Merritt, they're having a quick word with Michael Richards. Richards, of course, known for his soft tactics, and
disciplinary record.
Disciplinary record, yes. Free kick's been taken wastefully and goes out for a throw-in on the far side by the corner flag, which Kelly Evans is just about to go and collect. There's a little ball boy over there who hasn't been able to reach it. And the wind blowing with a tree section over there. Most grounds have these trees now. I don't know, we got rid of ours, but there's one here at the Premier Plus Stadium. Of course, it was called the Cosy Stadium last year. Berry clears the ball, but straight to the towers.
A bit of head tennis going on.
Head tennis, and volleyed out by Russell Short. Almost took a Kettering fan's head off in the process, but it's a throw-in taken by Kelly Evans, but he tries to pump the ball up. It's holding in the wind, goes out for St Neots. So, and it's a bit deceptive, the wind. It looks okay from where we are, but on that pitch there, it's certainly holding up, and Kettering have the wind against them in this first half.
Yeah, and the sun as well, actually, from where the sun's placed. Paul White will have that in his eyes as well. So Kettering are going to be under it in this first half, and it doesn't help when Ben Milnes takes a touch like that, and it goes straight out of play on the far side for another throw-in for St Neots. Towers wins the header, flicked on by Brett Solkin. Now it's Ben Milnes again. He doesn't keep this one in either. It's another one that's gone out of play.
Again, that wind is having an effect, isn't it? I think on there, then just not finding it to.
It would be if the ball was in the air, but that one was on the ground.
It came off that bump then.
Right, okay. So throw-in looks like it may be a long one, which will be an interesting tactic with the wind. Pumping it high into the box, and it is going to be high into the box. Look at that. There's quite a few players unmarked as well in that penalty area. There's one on Paul White who is...
well, Sunday Ferris has got no one near him at all, has he? So...
goes in long, headed out and away, back to the throw-in taker. It's number 3, puts it in, that's over. Oh, it's landed on the roof of the net. Johnny Hurd, the captain. Paul White just looked a little bit concerned for a second or so there. He had it covered.
It's a lovely afternoon and lovely and warm, isn't it? And compared to that time at Latimer Park, where we were all freezing cold, but we're back to summer to a certain extent at the moment. Paul White then with the ball holding in the air as Meikle gets underneath it, trying to find Solcombe. Solcombe's beaten to it. Here comes Nabil Sheriff. Going to try a shot here. It comes in, and that's blazed into the forestry behind us. And I doubt if we'll see that ball again this afternoon. That's just disappeared from sight. And it was in fact Claudio Affusso who took that shot, and it was way over Paul White's bar and into obscurity.
Yeah, a lot of power, but didn't keep it down. And yeah, like you say, that's taken out quite a few squirrels over there as well, I think.
Yeah.
But, Paul White then with another goal kick. You'll won't be able to see on the radio, obviously, but we'll be able to see here the ball holding up. It didn't hold up that time either, so I might as well just keep my mouth shut on that one. Ball forward. Darrell Berry looks like he wants to play Paul White back. He does, and Paul White just gets there as another train barrels its way past. Long ball from Ben Mills. Rhys Honus has got in front of the number 6 Taylor Parr. Gets there, he's holding the ball up. He's not really got many options. Now he has. He doesn't use any of them, and he's lost the ball. He keeps it though. He's all the way back on the halfway line now, Rhys Honus. Darrell Berry has it, pings the ball out to Roe Turner. It's a little bit high, but brings it down on his chest. Roe Turner now, left-footed into the box. Deflected away and then unceremoniously cleared down the ground by the St Neots back line. Paul White has it now in his hands. Bowls it to Darrell Berry to his left. Berry to Mills. Mills has got a player on his back. Finds Berry again in the left back position now. Plays a left ball down the line. Solcombe holds it up on his chest and pings it to Meikle, and that ball through to Richards is perfect. Oh, and Richards left-footed shot. It was almost slow motion as he took that shot. It bobbled its way on the ground. Harry Reynolds, who's wearing the number 13 shirt rather than the number 1 shirt, was rooted to the spot, and the whole ground there waited to see whether that ball was going to go into the far corner or whether it was going to bobble past. It bobbled past, but a good chance out for Kettering.
Yes, it was agonisingly wide for Richards, but good movement from Kettering, and the first real chance as Towers puts that one out. Almost knocks the cameraman over on the gantry opposite where we are. Another ball lost. So as another train goes by on the line. Obviously going to Bedford as Solcombe comes away the ball, he loses it, and away comes Dylan Williams. It is Sembi Ferris, but he's beaten to it by Berry, who goes high into the sky. It's holding there, it's back in the Kettering half. Roe Turner heads it back. Bit scrappy from both sides at the moment, not being able to deal with this wind. And the number 2, Matt Mills, has to play the ball back to Harry Reynolds, who instantly puts the ball out of play. And that's a throw into Kettering in our own half by the main stand. Roe Turner getting the ball. 0-0 here at the Premier Plus Stadium. You're listening to Poppy's TV audio. We'll be at Tamworth on Tuesday night, another away fixture for that all-important game at Aldershot. Milnes being hassled, but he feeds the ball to Towers. Towers to Kelly Evans on the far side. Comes inside Claudio Affusso. Finds Mills. Now it's Evans again, but he gives the ball away, and it's a chance here for the number 11. Great challenge by Richards. Back with Kelly Evans, and Kelly Evans is not fouled. It looked like a foul to me. Referee says no, and Towers has to mop up. Feeds the ball through to Meikle, who's a little weak tap there. Solcombe can't do much with it, and that comes off Meikle for a throw. Was that a foul?
Don't know. The Kettering Town bench seemed to think so, and the
I'm sure Mr. Lavery would have mentioned that a time or two.
Yeah, there's a good noise from the Kettering Town fans to our left when they get going, when they're claiming for something, and I'm sure if Kettering score, it'll be a really good noise coming from our left. That's going to go all the way. No, it's been kept in. Darrell Berry hassling the St Neots player. It's with the number 10, puts the ball in. Oh, a turning shot in the centre there. Didn't really know where the goal was, just hit it towards where he thought it was, number 8, Russell Short, and went past the post.
Couple of yards the other way, and Paul White would have been in difficulty with that, but good movement from St Neots, the first real chance, and that's one chance each now to get on the score sheet. Paul White taking his time with this as Declan Towers is fiddling around with his laces. He's now up and running up the field. Paul White hoping to get the ball into the opposition half for the first time with this wind pulling the ball back. We shall see. Lower trajectory, goes straight though to Simbi Ferris, who finds, looks like Nabil Sheriff, the ex-Poppy of one game. That comes off Roe Turner and goes for a throw-in to the home side. Matt Mills, he leaves it though. It's going to be, see who's going to take this throw-in. It's going to be the number 3, Johnny Hurd. Another long throw-in by the setup.
This wind is going to play havoc with the ball in the air as well. There's a cluster of players round Paul White. Paul White may be half thinking about claiming a foul if it goes in. Ball there, headed away by Solkin. No one's near Claudio Afusu. Ball in was weak, and then Solkin's ball out was
Homer
not
away,
directed.
Seth, Homer away.
Ball goes in. Roe Turner cuts out, plays long, ball held up. Honus can't get there, it'll fall again to a St Neots player, but Solkin's nicked that off the boot of Russell Short. It's very scrappy at the moment from Kettering. Towers nods down to Richens. Richens takes a touch, goes past the player. It's offsides. Marcus Kelly doesn't go for it anyway, and the ball is nodded back just by Harry to Harry Reynolds.
Latest score from Colville, it's Colville Town 0, Needham Market 1. So they're suffering from that defeat by St Neots at the moment on Tuesday. St Neots holding Kettering here at 0-0. So let's hope that Kettering can get a couple of goals and boost their point tally. Harry Reynolds then, the long ball. That goes straight out of play though for a Kettering Town goal kick. Wind also playing havoc with St Neots. They can't judge the distance. And it's taking them. And David Bridges is down there. I think that's David Bridges. He used to be a coach here, but now at Lincoln City. And of course he was an ex-Kettering player.
Never forget him missing that penalty at home to... We drew 2-2
Eastbourne Borough. But he
smashed it off the bar in the 85th minute, the penalty.
Scored the 3rd goal against Telford though when we won the championship. Yes. And away comes Kettering, but it comes off Kelly's foot. Another throw in to the home side. Kettering not getting any rub of the green at the moment. Fairly competitive, as I say. St Neots tails are up after that super win on Tuesday night, coming back from 3-1 down and winning on penalties against the informed side Colville, who are losing to Needham Market at the moment 1-0. Throw in on our right hand side. It's going to be a long one by Hurd again. A tactic they're trying all the time, using this wind to its full advantage.
No ex-Gahagan though, is he?
No. Yeah, but Gahagan wasn't that successful with the throw-ins for Kettering. I think just one goal came from it, didn't it? In all those chances, unlike Rory Delap that put in some difficult ones for Stoke. It got flicked in, headed out there, a good chance. And a sand wedge by the number 11, Afoso. And that goes out for a Kettering goal kick. But another chance there from a long throw-in. And Kettering had to... have that one blocked, which they did. Paul White having to collect the ball. No ball boys helping, getting a bit of encouragement from the St Neots fans as he gets the ball, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yes. There's, the crowd in general has got a little bit quiet.
Yeah, it's very, you know, it's a nice summer afternoon, you know, it's you'd think that there'd be shouting and tap dancing. It's non-league day.
We're still in summer, are we?
And summer?
We're not in summer.
Sort of summer, isn't it? It's a summer mode.
I mean, it's actually autumn, but
it is autumn at 23 degrees. It certainly is very summer-like, isn't it?
Although not this summer though, which is a lot hotter than that. As Meikle takes over, plays the ball right to Kelly Evans. He's kept it on and may find Meikle here. He has done. Meikle now looking for an option. Good sliding challenge from the St Neots player. Ball long. Towers is fouled. Yeah, it did look like the St Neots striker there had tugged him to get the advantage. It's going to be a free kick for Kettering. I like doing this in a directed box.
Paul White. Paul White then with this free kick midway in his own half on the far side. Ball played again, it's holding in the wind again. Solkin trying to get underneath it, he does get underneath it, he finds Honus, and Honus can't do much with it. Solkin carries on, but out comes Harry Reynolds, just taking it off Solkin's head, bowls the ball out to Tom Wood, and he comes away with the ball, floats one down, and that should be Paul White's, and is, as the unlucky Nabil Sheriff looking to connect. He's their leading goal scorer since he returned from Stratford. He played against Kettering at Stratford. Last season played against Kettering for Banbury. So he's been all over, as well as ACFC Rushden and Diamonds and various other clubs that he's been. But away comes the number 10, Williams. He finds Sembi Ferris. Ferris feeds Mills just off the boundary, flicks one in. Berry can only tap it high. And it's a free kick to Kettering. There's a bit of argy-bargy there from Russell Short on Roe Turner. But it is a free kick, signalled by referee Abby Marriott. And Paul White just taking his time to collect the ball. 0-0 here. We've had 21 minutes of this first half at the Premier Plus Stadium. It's non-league day. And you're listening to Poppy's TV Audio with Ed Palmer and myself, Paul Cook, who will also be at Tamworth, the Lambs, on Tuesday night. Another away day for Kettering Town fans. White plays the ball, though Solkin can't get there. Parr did. It's a foul by Evans on number 11, Afoso, on the far side. Contested by the Kettering Town bench, taken quickly. That is number 10, Williams. He comes inside, might try a shot here, does, fires one in, and a dive-in save there from Paul White, tipping it over the bar. First real chance for the home side. Good save from White. That was going in, and it is a corner to St Neots Town, and Kettering Town have to face this. Ed, that was a very good save from the Kettering number 1.
It was, yeah, and it's alarm bells though to allow the player the space and time to shoot and get a good shot away with the wind behind him as well. They've got a corner now, St Neots, with the wind really picking up. Kettering haven't really been in this first half attackingly, and the ball goes towards the far post. It goes over everyone. There was a foul, I think, on Paul White anyway. So it will be a goal kick either way.
So one thing that Kettering have to do in the second half when they have the wind is actually pepper the goalkeeper with shots, and St Neots haven't done that. That was the first real effort, and surely with the wind behind them they can really put some shots in from distance. Paul White, they're doing exceptionally well. They're tipping that one off, and he now takes this free kick. Kettering had a chance now to try and break down this stubborn St Neots defence. It's hanging in the air again. He hasn't got the ball into play. It goes out, hits the Kettering Town top of the bench, and Chairman Dave Mahoney retrieves the ball, thrusts it back onto the pitch.
Owner Richie June makes his way in front of us with Gary Graham as well.
Oh yes.
So all members of the board here. Nice to see as the throwing goes long down the line, flicked on and cut out by Declan Towers, and his ball just goes forward long. And St Neots will come back again, and there's no one challenging that in the centre of the park. Now Darrell Berry comes out, and well cut out by Solkin, who has to go all the way back to Paul White, who will only get one touch at this, and that touch is to kick as far as he can. And just at that moment the wind died down, and it went as far as his kicks today. So just when he needed a bit of wind to hold it up, it didn't.
Almost could imagine that seagull that was hovering just over the ball as well. So Harry Reynolds in this tango uniform that he's wearing in all orange, as the Kettering fans sing out the K song. Nabil Sheriff to Ferris. Good ball here. It's Ferris on the edge. Well done by Roe Turner, and then Turner's brought down by Ferris, much to the disgust of the home fans. It's a free kick to Kettering just outside their penalty area. Paul White has been in action quite a bit today with these goal kicks and free kicks. He's going to take this one again. That's another seagull. Didn't know that we're near the sea. We're not really, are we? But there we are. And another exciting result coming through here at from Hayden Road. It's AFC Rushden and Diamonds 0, Barwell 1. So there, and Tamworth 1, Redditch 0 is another latest score. So Barwell have picked up form. They won away 1-0 last week. It's Paul White now with this kick. It's towards Honus. He won't win it. The ball is headed out and goes into the bank of Kettering fans. Roe Turner has to bend over to get this ball out the ground, from the ground. So Roe Turner, not much on for him. There's no movement for Kettering at the moment. Still nothing for him. Meikle's in front of him. He finds Meikle. Meikle has to play the ball back to him. With his left foot, now his right foot to Turner. Floats one in. That should be no problem at all for the defence. But it comes to Mills. Might try a shot. Can't control it. And
challenge.
It's a good challenge. And Afoso now with a bit of time here. Being chased by Marcus Kelly. But Afoso's got the power. Has got the beating of him. Puts the ball through, but cut out by Declan Towers, who did very well and clears for the Poppies. Only to Tom Wood, though. He heads the ball back in. Straight to Meikle. But again, it's a free kick. Well done by the referee, bringing the ball back. A foul on Meikle, and plays brought back to the halfway line. Yeah, hard to estimate the crowd here. It's certainly filled up since 2:30. When I thought, being non-league, there must be more people here than that. But Brian Penn made it. Made in a rare away game for him. A non-league day. He's here. Kettering's number 2 fan, allegedly. Flicked on by Williams. Only to Towers, though, trying to find Ben Milnes. Milnes having a battle with Dylan Williams, and still a battle.
Good job.
Ellie Evans does very well. It's very scrappy at the moment, and just hoofed away by Declan Towers for a throw-in. Difficult conditions, I suppose, to play in. It's all right where we're sitting from, but I expect on that pitch it's velocity in the sky.
You've got to look at the corner flags and the
trees,
linesman's flags as well to know exactly the scale of the wind on the pitch. Good header from Towers. Again, that's just stayed in. Good work from Honus. Honus all the way back to Berry, who gets one touch at this and goes all the way back to Paul White, who get one touch at this as well. Then he has to kick away, which he does. Salkin underneath it, doesn't get a boot on it, but comes to Meikle. Meikle nearly got the ball through to Honus. He has another go at it though, and Honus this time gets there, but he's offside. And so there'll be a free kick for St Neots. Still 0-0 here at the Premier Plus Stadium. We've had about 27 minutes of the first half.
Wind picks up again and gives the advantage to the home side, who are behind the wind, or using it to its advantage, should I say. Haven't been able to do anything with it so far. Roe Turner beaten to it, though, easily turned by Sembi Ferris, but it's gone into the corner flag. He beats Turner easily here. This could be a chance. A side shot come in and cleared by Berry when it looked for certain that St Neots were going to tap it past Paul White. They still have the advantage here. It's Tom Wood playing the ball in, but he's put a horrendous ball for Claudio Afoso to try and collect. He can't. He goes out for a throw, but another chance for the home side.
Yeah, Roe Turner got done all ends up there by Dion Sembi Ferris. And there was a really good chance for St Neots. And that throw in from Dion Kelly Evans is not great either, though Richards has done enough on it. He's got a throw in, much to the annoyance of some of the fans over there in St Neots colours. Throw in long. Salkin won't get there. Richards does. Meikle puts the ball high towards no Kettering player in particularly. The ball's been brought down to Sembi Ferris on the halfway line. Plays back to Matt Miles. Miles down the line. Chance for the number 4 who falls over. And away it goes from Berry. Meikle now. The foul there. Sembi Ferris just clipped his opposite number, Lyndon Meikle.
Very impressed with the Southern refereeing at the moment. Doesn't miss anything, which is something we don't say very often. So it's going to be Roe Turner with this free kick midway in Kettering's half on the near side where we're commentating from. Not a lot on for him at the moment, obviously. It's going to be a punt into the middle. It is. Again, hanging in the air. And a foul by Richards on Taylor Park. And actually Russell Short, sorry. And the referee gives a free kick.
Oh yes, of course. If you are listening to this on our YouTube channel and you've not yet subscribed to us, please do click that subscribe button. Not only do we want to be the most subscribers in the league, we also need to get to that magical 1,000 mark so that we can start making some money from it as well.
Yep, we need to get many of you as possible just to subscribe. It is free to subscribe. You don't have to do anything else, but just get the numbers up as the ball is in the Kettering half again. High in the air, won by Roe Turner to Salkin, but Roe Turner adjudged to have fouled Sembi Ferris. This is a good area with this wind behind them for a pot at Paul White. Normally you'd say it's a bit too far out, but with the wind behind them, if they've got anybody that can take a long free kick, then this is a chance for the home side.
Well, Dylan Williams is looking interested with it, as is Johnny Hurd, the captain, but it looks like it's going to be Williams. Like you say, there could be a real chance here.
It's quite a way out indeed, but we've seen these go in from this distance with wind assisted shots, and it's going to be Dylan Williams, and there's only Ben Milnes in the wall. He's got Johnny Hurd in front of him. So then let's see what happens here. Is he going to take a shot, or is he going to put it into the back post? They're lining up for a back poster. It is a back poster. Missed by
everyone. Oh, no,
he got a touch to it, did Salkin, and that goes out for a corner. Thought he'd missed, Salkin said, but the referee says no. He must have got one of those.
Yeah, no complaints either.
No,
is there from
no
anyone,
complaints.
so it must have just flicked off the hair.
What he's got left of his hair, yes.
Left of his hair, yeah. So corner, be an in-swinger over on that far side. Dangerous. There's the train going on in the centre. A little bit too deep, and as Russell Short tried to head it back into the area, he couldn't get there.
Yep, so they're not being able to deal with the wind either side at the moment, and it's proven to be a little bit more difficult for both sides, but Kettering will have that advantage in the second half, if it is an advantage, of course. Sometimes you say it is, sometimes it's better playing against it, but we shall see. 0-0 here as we're heading towards the half-time mark. It's about 13 minutes to go. Paul White being the busier of the two goalkeepers this afternoon, mainly from goal kicks and free kicks. He pulled off one super save that tipped over the bar, and St Neots had two other chances that were just wide of Paul White. Kettering having one chance that we can talk about, but we won't at the moment because it is St Neots breaking away with the ball. It's Russell Short hoping to get something from that, but it finds Kelly Evans. He pumps the forward to Ward's Honus, but it's headed out by Russell Short for a Kettering throw on the far side, taken quickly by Meikle to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans, though, loses the ball, and away come the home side. Nobody up front. Good turn, though. Going to take a bit here from Berry. Good tackle. Salkin looks offside at the moment. The number 5, Wood, plays the ball out to Hurd on the far side. He hoofs it high. Kelly Evans should win this. He does, but it's going to go straight to Afoso. He turns. Good movement here. There could be a shot coming in. Long range. Taking the time. Richens at Williams' feet. He delivers the ball back to Afoso. Very scrappy indeed. And Meikle gets the ball away towards Salkin. Salkin plays it to Kelly. Kelly back to Salkin. Salkin to Berry. Berry puts a high ball in. That should be easily dealt with by St Neots as it is, but it comes back to Salkin. But he only heads it to a St Neots player who comes away with the ball. It is O'Malley trying to feed Nabil Sheriff. It's Sheriff being barged over by Durrell Berry. The home fans want a foul, the referee having none of it. And a throw in to the Kettering Town side, much to the pleasure of the commentators here watching this game. Well,
it has to be said, though, that St Neots have been far the better team this first half. Kettering just haven't been able to keep the ball. I think you can count on both hands how many touches Kettering have had in the St Neots half. You can count on one hand the amount of times they've had the ball in the St Neots penalty area as well.
Yes, you wouldn't have thought that they played that gruelling FA Cup replay on Tuesday night. They're putting in a very spirited performance on the home side as Meikle threads through Honus. Could Kettering Town take advantage here? He comes inside the penalty area. He's got Kelly. Kelly waits too long, though, and it's easily cleared. It was poor communication between Kelly and Meikle, and it comes away with the home side with the ball. And a little trip there by Meikle, but he loses the ball. And away comes Dylan Williams. Feeds the ball through. Meikle can only find Richards. He comes away with it, fending off the number 10, who's trying to claim that he's punched in the face rather cheatingly. And a rather strange ball there from Richards, putting it right into the corner flag. But Solkin does well, actually. Frees the ball in. It comes in. There's Honus. Oh! And it just bounces over the diving Honus. Any connection there, that would have been a goal for Kettering. Very unlucky, but he is offside. And
no, he was onside. It was a goal kick, but he just misread the bounce.
Misread the bounce, as the wind may have interfered, but it was a lovely height, wasn't it? Just a head in.
Came off the surface, I think, a little bit quicker than Honus thought it was going to.
Who'd have thought that from that ball from Richards, who just aimlessly played it down into that penalty, that flag down here, and Solkin did very well getting the ball over, and a chance for the Poppies. So it's Harry Reynolds then. He gets it into the Kettering half. The difference there is quite immense. It's back in the St Neots half as Meikle tries to win it. He can't win it. Kelly Evans underneath the challenge in Russell Short. It goes out for the Kettering goal kick. St Neots think it's a corner, but referee having none of it.
Be interesting to see what the possession stats would say this first half, because I think St Neots are 63-37 in St Neots' favour. Yeah, apparently.
Well, I couldn't argue with that. It certainly has been the St Neots charge that has caused Kettering a few problems. We'll see how we get on in the second half with change of fortune in wind conditions. Paul White then about to take this kick. He does, and that does get into the St Neots half. Richards beaten to it though, flicked on. Roturner heads it back towards Kelly. Kelly can't win it, but he does find Honus, who squares the ball to the advancing Kelly Evans on the far side, who nearly fell over, but he comes inside, flicks the ball through to Meikle. Meikle won't be able to catch it, nor can Solkin, and Matt Miles lets the ball go out for a goal kick. Better work, though, from the Poppies. But still 0-0 here with around 8 minutes of this first half to go at the Premier Plus Stadium. It's non-league day. And hopefully people are taking the advantage of that and come to see some local non-league football.
Of course. 36 minutes gone then, still 0-0.
Certainly more atmosphere here than there was in the England match last night, and
that's because there are more fans here than there were at the England football match last night. Here comes St Neots forward again. That's going to be a foul again.
Well, that was never, and it's quickly taken.
There's a chance here. It's going to go wide. Number 9, Nabil Sharif, couldn't quite get his shot away.
Well, that was a moving ball, though, wasn't it, as well? The referee decided to let that go, and but it was a strike from Sharif that went by the post of Paul White. And it still remains 0-0. White taking his time.
Kettering at the moment would be happy to get in at half-time, 0-0.
I think you're right there. It hasn't gone their way at the moment. Could have found themselves a goal down, but it's still 0-0. Good contingent here from Northamptonshire, not too far away, of course, only half an hour, as White's header is easily dealt with, but a push on Solkin. And it's a free kick just by the centre circle in the St Neots half. Ball is the other end of the ground at the moment. Ben Mills having a chat with Abby Marriott.
Oof. Not a great kick from Paul White.
No, and it is Sembi Ferris who gives the ball to Ben Mills. Kettering then leaving 3 at the back. Let's see what they can do. It's Solkin who's up there. Milnes. That should be easy dealt with. And here's Kelly, turns, fires one in, and a good shot and save from Harry Reynolds there on the turn by Marcus Kelly, and one on target, which on another day might have gone the other way, but more improvement from the Poppies. As Kelly Evans now, he breaks away with the ball. Richards is onside as the number 6 Parr has to deal with this. Hoofs it away, but that's won by Towers, but he heads that out for a throw-in. And St Neots calm things down. On the far side then with the ball in front of their own dugout, referee tell him to get back. So he's just pinch another yard, but there we are. Meikle only feeds the ball through to Afoso, in fact. Afoso, nice name, isn't it? Afoso. Ball out, and look at that spin on that ball. Throw in to St Neots on the far side, halfway in the Kettering half. We're coming to 5 minutes to go before half time. Another ball has appeared from one of the fans behind the trees. Was that the squirrel one that you mentioned earlier? I'm not sure. Not missing anything at the moment. It's still designed to take this throw. To be a long one by Hurd. In it comes. Flicked on and comes off Declan Towers in the 6-yard box for a corner. More danger from the long throw-in. Matt Mills runs over to the far side to take this. And only leaving Honus up front for the Poppies. Kettering don't want to concede the goal at this stage of the game, or at any stage of the game really, but certainly not now as they comes in. Towers is there, headed out by Towers towards Kelly, just hoofs it anywhere. Tied it up by the number 4, O'Malley. Flicked in, and number 9 should be offside. It wasn't offside, and it was really wasn't it? It was Nabil Sheriff there, wasn't it? Just on the penalty spot, who guided that a bit better. Could have put that in the net. So poor work from him. But another little bit of a frightener for the Poppies just before half time. Paul White then. Better trajectory with that one, aiming towards Solken. Solken's missed that one, but it's St Neots, a push there on Richens, and a hoof into the night sky. It's very, very scrappy, and the referee gets the first one wrong here, asking Milnes is going into the book for something totally innocuous at all. That is poor refereeing. It was not a free kick. It's in fact Richens that's going into the book. Well, there's a surprise, but even so, that was nothing. And Richens been booked by Abby Marriott for something very harsh indeed. And the Kettering contingent giving the referee a little bit of feedback.
Constructive criticism, I think, isn't it?
It is called constructive criticism, and I'm sure she'll take that on board. But that was a poor decision indeed. Reynolds then gets play underway. Off Declan Towers, the ball spoons away. Roe Turner only chisels it towards Marcus Kelly. He finds Meikle. Meikle finds Ben Milnes. There's only Honus up front. Honus can't do anything with that. He's headed back into the mix. Meikle finds Kelly Evans on the far side, on the halfway line. He feeds it through to Milnes, back to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans puts a high ball in for Honus. Honus only gives the ball away, though, to the number 8 Russell Short, who clear the ball. And it comes off the back of Declan Towers, and Paul White has to come out. No danger, though. And we're coming towards half-time. It's still 0-0. St Neots having the better of this first half, but Kettering Town will be pleased that it's 0-0. They'll be playing with the wind in the second half. Paul White puts the ball down as Sheriff almost intercepted. It's back with Paul White. Not an inspiring first half, Ed.
No, it's not been, has it? And so Kettering, I think, will be happy to go in at half-time 0-0 if it stays like that, because they've not played great. Haven't been able to keep the ball, really. It's all been St Neots who've been attacking. There's a chance, though, as Solken flicks through, and Honus gets through, and the goalkeeper, Harry Reynolds, didn't look incredibly comfortable, and here goes Rhys Honus. Is he going to hide behind him? No, he isn't.
Almost pitched one last week, didn't he? Hiding behind the Hensford goalkeeper.
Kick out of the hands of Harry Reynolds. It's going to go all the way, and it's going to go out for a goal kick on the far side. So
well, it was a 6-goal thriller here last season. None of those words can be used so far in this game, as Paul White is about to take this as we're edging ever towards half time. I make it 45 minutes gone. White trying to find Solkin. Solkin does in fact win the header, but it's easily cleared by Parr. He finds Sembi Ferris, still got the ball, flicks the ball through. Could be a chase here for Afoso, but a good header by Kelly Evans, and Paul White though couldn't stop it going for a corner. Takes a big chunk of turf out of the 6-yard box, and just what Kettering didn't want. It is a corner kick right on half-time with the wind in St Neots' favour. Caused a bit of chaos last time, so it's going to be Matt Mills with this. Who knows what's going to happen? And my notes they all blew away there. But there we go, wind blowing.
The love train is happening in the centre of the penalty area again. It's a corner again.
Well, that was a dreadful corner, but caused all sorts of chaos, didn't it, in that Kettering 6-yard box? It was low, it was to the feet, there were missed kicks and slices, and it came off a Kettering defender for another corner into the last few seconds of this first half. In it comes, headed away by Kelly Evans to Meikle. Meikle tries to find Honus, he does. Honus turns, he's got nobody with him at front at the moment. Now he has, he's got Kelly Evans on his right hand side, he uses him. Kelly Evans though has got and has lost the ball. 1 minute of added time signalled by the fourth official, or in fact it's Malcolm Lua that signals at the 1 minute. Very unusual there. As Sembi Evans is blocked, and Kelly Evans lets the ball from Tom Wood go out of play for a throw in on the far side.
That would be the last kick of the half, I would think.
Yep,
no hurry to get the ball back for the throw in. I think Kettering are just wanting to get in at half time and regroup.
Yeah, plan A hasn't really worked, has it, against this wind, and certainly the defensive pattern of St Neots been able to cope with Kettering's front three.
You can see why they've only conceded 6 goals this season.
You can indeed, and Kettering need to break this defence down if they're going to continue at top of the table. They need the 3 points. Kelly Evans on the far side with this throw-in, and there goes the whistle blown by Abbey Merritt. It ends at 0-0 here, the first 45 minutes at the Premier Plus Stadium. Advantage, you would have to say, though, to St Neots, who've had more chances than Kettering, and there's going to need to be some strong words from Marcus Law in the half-time period if Kettering are going to improve on that. So from Ed Palmer and myself, we're going to take a break for around 10-15 minutes. We'll be back with full live coverage in 50 minutes' time.
Welcome back to the Premier Plus Stadium, home of St Neots Town, where it's currently St Neots Town 0, Kettering Town 0. And really, St Neots have been the better side in the first half. And if you were being overly critical, probably should have had a goal.
Yeah, they've certainly had a few chances. Paul White has been brought into action at least twice. One diving leap to push the ball over the top of the bar. They've had a couple of chances in the 6-yard box that have been blocked, and only a poor touch really from former Poppy Nabil Sheriff later in the first half denied the hosts from a goal. Kettering in response have had a couple of chances but nothing really to write home about, and they will be playing though with the wind in the second half. That might make a bit of difference. We'll have to wait and see. Doesn't look like there's been any substitutions so far. And just as a thought here, we did mention or give you the FC Rushden and Diamond score against Barwell. He's now 1-1, and scoring for Barwell is Kettering player Jarvis Davidson Miller. So we're not sure if he's on loan or has joined them at the moment. We'll try and find that out later on. But apparently it was a great goal. So he's done something for Barwell that he couldn't do for the Poppies and put the ball in the net.
I think we'll take this moment before the second half kicks off to send our best wishes to Poppy's TV producer and technical wizard Ryan Griffin and his friend, who were involved in a car crash last night late in Kettering down by B&Q. Ryan's currently on crutches. His friend, I think, is still currently in hospital, so we wish both of them a speedy recovery and hope to see him back at the ground as soon as we have a home game, which is a while away, but it gives him some time to recover. But all the best wishes and our thoughts are with those two.
Certainly, and look after yourself, Ryan, and get yourself fit as soon as possible, and take it easy. So we're going to about to start this second half. It is Dylan Williams getting the play underway. He finds short, and that ball goes out of play off Roe Turner.
I don't know whether he needed to do that.
No, he could have left
that go. Yeah. But yes, of course, if you are listening to us on our YouTube channel and you've not yet clicked that little subscribe button, I can't remember where it is now on YouTube. I think it's underneath the video now. Please do help us get to that magical 1,000 mark, which allows us to start generating income from our YouTube channel, which helps us remain self-sufficient. Long throwing goes in. Roe Turner heads away back to the throw and taker. It's Johnny Hurd, cross deflected and out by Richins, and then knocked into space by Meikle. Honus is the man there. He's got Ben Mills overlapping him, but Honus just holds the ball up. Now going inside, he's got Ben Mills wide, which he uses. Mills looking for an option, goes to Declan Towers. Declan Towers across the line to Darrell Berry. Bit of a missed touch, but no one's within 20 yards of him, so he's got a lot of space to work with. Now Roe Turner down the line to Meikle. Heavy touch from the number 7 for Kettering, and it allows Nabil Sheriff to have the ball in a lot of space inside Kettering's half. Breaking forward, Roe Turner's going to have to do something with this. Great challenge from Roe Turner, and keeps it in play as well. Needs to find an option. Now goes down the line, but it's cut out. It'll be a Kettering throw-in though. Meikle not quite getting there. Still 0-0 as we said here at Premier Plus Stadium. Kettering hoping to improve on their first half performance. Throw in long by Roe Turner, flicked on by Solken, and away by Hurd. So missed kick from Towers, and Roe Turner can't keep it in. It's another throw in for St Neots on that far side. Will it be left for the long throw of Johnny Hurd? It is going to be. No one in the box though. Doesn't look like it's going to be a long throw. It isn't. Goes back to Tom Wood. Cleared away by Roe Turner over Honus's head, headed back towards Roe Turner. Roe Turner won't get there. Good touch by Claudio Afosu. He's kept in on that far side and still going. Darrell Berry is going to get there. Richards comes across. Oh, and the ball goes over, and it took a nod from Dion Kelly Evans to take it away from the lurking lurking Dion Sembi Ferris on the far side, and that encourages St Neots fans to raise their voice. Throw in taken quickly. Cross goes in, does it? No. Cuts back. Now it's Sembi Ferris. Back to Dylan Williams. Williams has got Ferris back. That's who he uses. Ferris puts the ball in towards the far post. Roe Turner can't get there. Cleared away. Handball shouts not given. We can only Imagine what Richard Lavery thought of that handball decision. Throw in taken back to Matt Miles. Miles, Kelly chasing the ball around, but he's not going to get there. Good footwork over on the far side. Cross will come in, will it? No, it's a good tackle from Roe Turner. Clearance away is only for another throw in for St Neots. St Neots starting this second half much like they played for the majority of the first half. Cross should come in now. It isn't. A Cruyff turn has been deflected out by Meikle for a throw in. And it's going to be left again for the long throw of Johnny Hurd, the centre halves for St Neots, making their way into the box around the penalty area. They are now, and in that near post. So long throw in to come in. Referee just making sure there's no pushing and shoving. Long throw in, headed away, headed back in. Roe Turner's going to have to deal with this. He doesn't. It goes back out to Johnny Hurd, who puts the ball in. Good ball in, headed away by Solken. Headed back into the mix, flicked on again by Sheriff, but no power behind it. Paul White picks the ball up, distributes quickly with the wind behind him. It's overhit though. That's something he's going to have to deal with this second half. A little bit different than the first half with the wind behind him. 693 the attendance. I was 8 people out. So
would you want a medal?
That's us and the directors. I was out. I was including us in it.
So that's incredible. It doesn't look like 600 here, but then that's a very good attendance, bolstered by the Poppies. Faithless Rhys Holmes is trying to get latch onto us. He might try a shot. He can't. Has to turn. He's offside though. He hasn't seen it. Referee's not seen it. She has now.
Well, then the Kettering players are asking her to bring it back for the foul she gave the advantage for, which she hasn't done either. Abby Marriott. So, free kick to be taken by Harry Reynolds. Underneath it is Towers. Towers wins the header. Up into the air by the number 8 as Solken slips. Richins gets a left boot on it. It's gone high rather than anywhere else. And the Kettering side, no, it stayed in. And it stayed in place somehow over the far side. And now there's a foul against Richins. Solken is livid with the referee about something. And it's right in front of both dugouts as well. So so it's going to be a free kick. Then there's going to be a talking to for who?
Well, if it's Richins, then he's going to have to be very careful here. He's already been booked, and the referee sensibly is talking to him rather than issuing the yellow card, I think. Marcus Kelly's been told to go away. Well, this is a critical time here for Richins, because he could go if she decides to issue a yellow card, and Richins want to thank his lucky stars there. And just a talking to by referee Marriott. Free kick on the far side, just over the halfway line, just in Kettering's half. Comes in. Towers underneath it. Cleared by Kelly Evans. Just aimlessly anywhere, and it's won by O'Malley. Given away though, and Meikle trying to send Honus away. He's lofted the ball. If he can keep this in, there might be some chance for Kettering. In comes Honus. He comes outside. He might try a shot. He still can't shoot. If he hits it, he has to hit it. Delayed it 3 times, 4 times. Still got the ball onto his foot and did nothing with it. All that running, and they didn't deliver a shot on target. That was a shame, because Honus had them on the rack at the time. He's got the ball back. Flicks it through to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans, a high ball to the back post. That's too heavy. Solken shows his frustration, saying, "What the dickens was that?" And it is back with Harry Reynolds. But Rhys Honus there, Ed.
Oh, he just didn't want to shoot, did he? We saw it last season when he used to do that when he was on his left foot. He didn't like shooting on his left foot, but that was on his strongest foot, his right foot. Didn't get the shot away, and Kettering have just given up a glorious opportunity, and as you say, Salkin was not in the best of moods after that. He wins the header now, Salkin, but it's flicked on, brought down by Towers. Throw in for St Neots. Nabil Sharif is unhappy with the challenge of Towers. Looks like there's going to be a few discussions between the Kettering bench and Matt Miles.
It's also playing for Barwell against the Diamonds today. It's former Poppy Liam Canavan. He's just had a shot fired over the bar. So 2 Kettering players in the side at the moment. It's 1-1 there and 0-0 here at the Premier Plus Stadium. We'll try and bring you some of the scores as we get them, but Kettering need to get on target in this game, but it's St Neots still proven to be a difficult nut to crack. Number 7 Ferris on the far side now. He's trying to feed through Sheriff. Sheriff has got Berry with him, plays the ball back to Sembi Ferris. It comes off Michael Richards and goes for throwing on the far side. St Neots certainly done more in this opening period than Kettering seemed to do for half the first half with the attacking against the wind. So it's going to be another long throw in by Johnny Hurd. That's what the play is set for. Paul White, arms aloft, trying to get some clearance. He's being jostled by Russell Short. In comes the throw in high into that area. It's madly packed there. Towers gets the ball. It's flicked up high again. It could go anywhere. And Miku comes away with the ball off his head now. He's going to hit this anywhere. He doesn't. He gets robbed though by Sembi Ferris, who then comes inside and a boot comes off. It is Sembi Ferris though. I'm not sure if it's his boot. It has come off. It's not.
Well, Paul Gascoigne famously scored without a boot on, didn't he?
He did, and he kept in a bit of 6 and 7s here, and a poor ball, really. This should go out. A push by Richards. The referee says nothing, but Kettering under a bit of pressure there, weren't they? And they're rattled at the moment, Kettering. It's a throw-in right on the left-hand corner flag. Kettering kicking from left to right in this half, and it is Kelly Evans trying to find Salkin. He flicks the ball on, and that miscued by the number 3 Hurd. It could go anywhere. It doesn't. And control there from Russell Short. He finds Sembi Ferris, proving to be a bit of danger at the moment. Ball out to Matt Miles on the far side. He's running the ball. He's got Kelly after him. He puts the ball in towards the back post, and that goes away from Claudio Afoso, and that should be a goal kick. But again, St Neots look threatening.
Yeah, this is not a comfortable time for anyone of a Poppy's persuasion, as there's really not been a lot of action in the St Neots half throughout this game.
We'll hope to try and get an interview with one of the managerial staff after the game, which will be on the Poppy's TV website at some point, either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, whatever the result is of this game. Let's hope it's a positive one and Kettering can get the 3 points. Paul White then with the goal kick, taking his time, studying where he's going to place it. That's a better kick from Paul White, but it flicks on, and Honus might get through. If he hits it, he should score here. He's gone down, and that should be a penalty, and it is! That should be at least a booking for the goalkeeper. Never.
Well, Honus, the goalkeeper hesitated, Harry Reynolds. Honus came up with it, knocked it round him, and the goalkeeper brought him down. The keeper is furious with Matt Paul, the assistant referee. From here, it looked dubious.
Blatant penalty as far as I'm concerned, as usual.
Card for dissent for one of the St Neots players. Can't see who it is. Looks the goalkeeper might be in trouble here as well, actually. He's not getting booked for his part in the foul. He may very well get booked for dissent in a second. Well, it's silly to get booked from a dissent at this point, because if
was the player that was booked.
Misses it, then it's a booking for nothing. But Salkin steps up, Mr. Reliable from the penalty spot. He has been so far anyway. To put Kettering ahead in a very, very tough game. Up steps Salkin. Shoots! Scores! In off the post! Only just! But Kettering are ahead. And Salkin, with his trademark, powered it into the right-hand side where he was from his side. In off the post. And Kettering, it's fair to say, against the run of play, have taken the lead.
Well, that's The 10th penalty Kettering have been awarded this season. They've scored all 10 and Brett Solkin scored 7 of those. And a certain director in front of me said to me it was never a penalty. I have to disagree. I thought it was a blatant penalty. But then I am, of course, very, very biased. But there we are.
The problem is, if you hesitate like the goalkeeper did, you're asking for trouble. And Rhys Honus then nicked it in front of him, and the goalkeeper put his body across Honus. Whether there was contact or not, you don't know. But when you do that, you give the referee a decision to make. And she's made it, and she pointed to the penalty spot. And Solkin stepped up, as he always does, and scored goal for him, 532 of his career. Yes, not of the game.
532 appearances and 108 goals. He scored 532 goals in a superhero. But 108
feels
goals.
Like 532.
It certainly does. It's a lovely ball here to Honus again, who might try a shot this time. He turns, he doesn't. Goes the other way this time. He should have shot. In comes the ball. It's cleared. Back to Honus. He traps the ball well. He still has the ball. If he can get the ball over, there's 2 Kettering players in there. One of them is Solkin. He goes one way, goes the other, puts the ball in, dribbles 5 times, gives it to Kelly. Kelly has to put the ball out to Meikle. Meikle flicks the ball through to Honus, and it comes to nothing as the flick from Meikle was too heavy, and Honus couldn't get onto it, and that goes out harmlessly for a goal kick. Kettering leading 1-0 at the Premier Plus Stadium. That goal just scored by Brett Solkin. Yes, from the penalty spot. You will have guessed it, and Kettering making that Brett Solkin's 10th goal of the season as well, only his 3rd in the league, and what a good time to actually get the ball pumped forward again. St Neots got a bit of their own treatment now with the wind in Kettering's favour as the ball is adding to the advantage. Solkin though is blocked, and it goes to Nabil Sheriff. Sheriff, he feeds Ferris on the other side. It's the home side's chance to attack Kettering now. Good ball here, but intercepted by Kelly Evans, who just lumps the ball anywhere. He could have taken his time as Honus was offside. Number 3, Reid. Hurd, the captain, with the ball, plays it back to the number 6, Taylor Parr, who got booked for that incident, gave away the penalty, I think more for dissent than anything. He feeds the ball to Ofoso. Ofoso's got the number 10, he might try a shot. Ferris does, it comes off Towers and cleared by Kelly. It's hard to see here with the sun in the eyes here. Kelly doesn't know where it is, gives the ball away though, and it's left for O'Malley. O'Malley plays the ball back, and that's now is in the half of St Neots. Ball out of play though, I think. Yes, it is, and that should be a throw in to Kettering. Kelly Evans asking a question. Bit of colourful language coming from one of the St Neots players there. I won't broadcast that just in case anyone's listening. But if you are, please subscribe to the YouTube channel that you'll see on the top right hand.
Shameless. That was fantastic.
So there we go. It's Ferris though, who's been a thorn in Kettering's side all afternoon. He flicks the ball out to Matt Miles on the far side. He finds Ferris again. He puts a low ball down. Out comes Paul White, and danger averted. White comes down, calms things down as goalkeepers do. Puts a long ball, only one up front, which is Honus. If he does get it, Honus has got there, and he's brought down by the number 11. It's gone out for a corner. A throw in. A good ball, and he was the only man that Paul White could find.
There was applause from Rhys Honus towards Paul White for that as well. That was a wonderfully struck pass. And of course, it was Paul White's kick forward, I think, wasn't it, that led to the penalty?
It was indeed, and the chasing Honus never gives up. He's always a threat in that penalty area, and he's proved to be a fantastic asset since he's joined the Poppies from last season. But it's Ben Milnes. He finds that Meikle. Meikle puts a low ball in, and the goalkeeper catches right in front of his face, rather Australian cricket style. And Colville, we here have now equalised at 1-1 against Needham Market. The most important scoreline, though, is here at the Premier Plus Stadium. It's 1-0 to the Poppies. Goal scored by Brett Solkin. Yes, from the penalty spot, as the sun now is playing a bit of havoc with myself and Ed. Solkin wins the duel of the headers. He pumps the ball through for Kelly to chase. That will go for a goal kick, and does. Just here that Kettering have scored against St Neots, passed on by our famous directors, who are always behind the times. So there we are. It's Harry Reynolds with this goal kick. Rather lucky, in my opinion, to be on the park or not go into the referee's book.
I thought he'd at least be booked, like I say, if not for the challenge itself, for the dissent with the referee and his and her officials, assistants. Solken does well to cut that one out in the centre of the park, and it's now Meikle who looks to burst forward against his opposite number, Sembi Ferris. Still going, it was clipped there. Lyndon Meikle, Sembi Ferris gave him a little bit of again, there was I certainly hope that wasn't the word that I thought it was from the left of me, from one of the home fans. We'll gloss over that.
When you consider what Richards was booked for, that in my opinion was far worse, but it's going to be a free kick to be taken by Ben Mills on the far side, halfway in the St Neots half. The Seagull tries to combat the wind as the ball comes in. In comes Mills here, there's Solken. There's Richards, a free header, goes inches wide, 6 inches the way, 2-0. Goalkeeper would have been beaten, not on target from Mills. He's having a bit of a nightmare with his headers in the 6-yard box. He missed that one against Leiston at Latimer Park, and he's missed one here, and that shows the advantage of having a top striker in those positions, which we haven't gone. But
should have been 2-0. It's not a case of being critical or anything. He was in acres of space, all by himself, all the time in the world, and he's nodded it past the post. It really, really should have been 2-0, and Kettering could have relaxed and.
Let's hope that doesn't come back to haunt the Poppies as the game progresses. It is Ben Mills, though. He's trying to find Kelly Evans. He's been adjudged to have a foul by referee Marriott. So it should be a free kick just outside the centre circle in the St Neots half. Reynolds in his orange kit comes up to take it. Places the ball down, playing in black boots, Ed. One of the only players beside the referee who's got black boots on today. I know you're a keen interest in the fashion styles.
We've got the other player there for St Neots. Can't see who it is at the moment. The number 4 who got booked. Ball cleared away from that. Oh, it's not cleared away, although Richards does eventually get there and plays a good ball to Meikle. Looks like there's going to be a double substitution for St Neots in a minute, but it won't happen yet as that ball goes through to Mills. Mills tries to just loft it into the path of Kelly. Didn't get there. It's a good touch in the centre of the park, but Rotan has given the ball straight to Sembi Ferris. He's had problems all afternoon with him, and he's still going, Sembi Ferris. Good defending from Darrell Berry, though, who falls over, but is still going. Darrell Berry. It's not a corner. I'm not sure how the linesman. Who's Abdul Kadir over there has seen that one. It certainly looked from all the way back here that it had come off the St Neots man last, but it's been given as a corner. Substitutions will await for the time being. Kettering leaving 2 up. That's Marcus Kelly and Rhys Honus.
I think this is a game where Andre Ball could be quite an asset in the last 15 minutes with his pace if it needs to be.
Just chase the long ball with the wind. Yeah, I certainly agree.
But it is a corner to the home side with a peculiar line, rather Gary Johnson styled. Love train, as Ed says. It comes in headed out by Kelly Evans, but only to Williams. Ball goes back. Kettering haven't got cleared their grounds yet. Headed on there, headed out by Towers. Turner hoofs the ball out. A chase on here. Who's got the pace? Goalkeeper should come out here. He does, and hits a spinner into the centre of the park. St Neots, though, get away with it again. It goes their way. Hurd puts the ball in towards Ferris, who should be offside. Surely offside. Plays the ball in. That comes off Turner for a corner. That was offside, surely.
Certainly looked it from here in the whole of the Kettering back line. Very good point. You don't stop running, as the Kettering back line did.
So another corner then. They've upped the
play to the whistle, isn't it?
It is. They've upped the ante a little bit, have St Neots, since conceding that goal, and look threatening again. The love train is there again. Look, as I say, Gary Johnson first did this, I think, in about 1996. Well, that was an embarrassment when he did it, but let's see what happens here. Ball comes in. Paul White static, but no need to be any threat. It cannons out towards Honus. Honus has been challenged by Miles. Has room to go back. He's got nobody with him. Has to play the ball back to Berry, who just punts the ball out for a throw. Nothing much he could do. Almost had the camera on the far side, and now we're going to have some substitutions. It's Russell Short is being replaced by Gary Wharton.
There's going to be another one as well, isn't there?
Big cheer for Wharton, as his name is mentioned from the fans.
Oh, there we go. Claudio Afusu off, and Devontae Stanley. It's a great name, Devontae Stanley. Comes onto the pitch as well. You'd think the manager's made this these changes in an attacking mindset. So that has now been done. It's a throw-in on the far side. Just see how long of this second half we've actually had. We've had 23.5 minutes of it. So 68.5 gone.
There's a glass of wine. White wine goes walking by with a woman in front of me, which is rather tempting. The wine, that is. So the ball comes in, headed on. It hits Richard's cry of handball, but nothing happened. Towers can't get that one. It's been cleared eventually by Solkin, rather desperately. And Kettering can't get the ball out of their own half. And away comes Lyndon Meikle. And down he goes by the number 6, who's already been booked. Now, he should actually be off for this. He's been booked before. And we should see if it is the same player.
No, it's not, is it? I think it was the number 4, wasn't it, who got booked in the penalty area, Harry O'Malley. It's a yellow card for Taylor Parr. I did for a second then think that it was Taylor Parr who'd already been booked earlier. It must have been Harry O'Malley then. But now he goes in the book, Taylor Parr, stopping a promising counter-attack as Meikle beat 2 St Neots player.
Doesn't look like any movement from the Kettering bench at the moment, and
no one's even out warming up or getting ready.
Luke Graham did actually stand up and run a trot around, but he's gone back in there as Milnes puts this one in towards Solkin, who misses it, and Honus gets in the back, but it goes out for a goal kick. Rather a waste, really.
Peter Short is not too sure what they're chanting over there, the Kettering fans who have filled that terrace.
Talking off Peter Short, I've not seen him actually. He's in the terrace, is he?
Over there. He's sat next to the goal, crouched. That hive is there, which is useless for radio commentary, but for us, that's where he is.
Hopefully, he's taking some exciting snaps. He's at the right end for the penalty, so we should get to see some of those later. And there is going to be now substitution.
There was no real movement. There is now going to be, and it's Solkin coming off and Andre Borg coming on.
Well, we did say Borg's pace should be interesting in this, but the penalty taker has gone off. So if he does get brought down, it'll be interesting to see who takes it. Maybe Honus, but a reshuffle for Kettering then.
Oh, it's fallen to Kelly in the centre of the park. If he'd have been right-footed, he'd have expected him to have a strike there, but he's left-footed. Didn't take it on. Towers clips long. Rhys Honus is offside as he's kept it in down by the corner there, says the linesman, Matt Paul.
Just while we're on about Brett Solkin breaking records, we weren't, but we will now. He is actually only 7 goals away, from becoming the Kettering Town highest FA Cup goal scorer. He's on 11. Ernest Panther is on 18. So Brett's still playing, of course. Only 2 hat-tricks more to get, then he should be thereabouts. But certainly has racked up the goals in the last 2 seasons. Roe Turner then on the far side with this throw-in towards Honus, but it's headed out. No, it's not. It's kept in. Deceptive from where we are with the line over there, but St Neots get the ball away, and it's hoofed out by Kettering. Rather scrappy at the moment as Roe Turner lets the ball go out for a Kettering throw on the far side again. Luke Graham and Edmund Hotter, or it's Este Hotter is I think his proper name, are warming up. So is Ben Toseland. So a lot of Kettering fans behind that goal mouth. Ball comes in then from Roe Turner. Milnes can't win it. It's given away. Milnes does win it back. He does well, but then is chopped, brought down, but given away. And Berry should feed the ball back to Paul White. He does rather delicately, and White had to be alert there. That wasn't a particularly good ball from Berry. Put White under a little bit of pressure, but which he didn't need. Meikle then trying to feed through Honus, but it's gone out. Miles should take this throw in. 1-0 to the Poppies. You're listening to Poppies TV Audio with Ed Palmer and Paul Cook. We shall be at Tamworth on Tuesday. It's non-league day here, and a good healthy crowd of 693 at the Premier Plus Stadium. So
if you are listening to us on our YouTube channel and you've not yet done so, please click the subscribe button below us. Help us get to that magical 1,000 mark and above, of course. As the play on the far side is resumed, that's cleared high into the air and high out of play for a throw-in for St Neots.
We're currently on 641 subscribers. So
we were with the last time we checked, anyway.
Yeah. So there we go. The reason we want you to subscribe, we can try and earn a bit of money from our channel, as we've lost doing the live home recordings sanctioned by the FA. So if it won't cost you anything to subscribe, so please just tick that box and do that for all of us here at Kettering Town Poppies TV Audio, live here at the Premier Plus Stadium. Paul White then with this throw. The sun now is becoming a bit hazardous for Ed and myself. It's making us squint, but I'd rather it nice and warm like this than the freezing cold as we're here at Boxing Day. It was rather cool, to say the least. It was a 4-2 win then by the Poppies. It's 1-0 at the moment. If you go either way.
75 minutes on the clock.
It's Kettering Town throwing. It's gone a bit quiet at the moment. The fans seem to be a bit reserved. It's not a classic display by the Poppies by any means, but you'll take a 3 points and not play so well. Throwing comes in, headed out by Miles. It's 3rd down and 3 yards, I think the term is, Ed. Is that right? You've been the American football enthusiast. 3rd
down and 5. Over on the far side, Rhys Honus is being hassled, but it's won another throw in for Kettering, which Roturn is going to take. Roturner manages to put the ball through to Borg, who's onside, and now he's offside. He was onside, and then 3 seconds later he was offside.
On Monday, of course, it's the FA Trophy, the Bill Base FA Trophy draw. We will find out if we have another away game, as we haven't got many home games featuring in the next few weeks. Everything away from home next month, yeah. We won't know, but it's St Neots coming away with the ball now. It's a good ball for the 14. Gary Wharton's first touch. He's inside the penalty area. He's got the number 3 Hurd with him. Hurd's going to feed it through. He doesn't know what to do. Gives it back to Wharton. Wharton's still has the ball. Plays it to Williams. Williams now away from the penalty area. They've been pushed back a little bit. Feeds the ball through to Wharton, who comes inside the penalty area now. Danger time as it fires the ball at Towers, hoping to get the ball. It's number 12, actually, Stanley, not 14. They look very similar. And he punts the ball through to Wharton, who's on the far side, being chased by Roturner, who makes a very good challenge. The ball comes off the 14 and is a Kettering Town throw-in. So 1-0, of course, good result if you stay 1-0, but a very dodgy one if you've still got 14 minutes or so to go in this game, a game that Kettering need to win, as Colville have equalised against Needham Market. Kettering only 2 points ahead of the Leicestershire side, who have become quite the surprise side of this season. We'll meet them in theory the next home game if the fixtures continue the way they're going. That's way away at the moment. So throw in to Roturner on the far side. Trying to find Richards. Does find Richards. Milnes reckons he was fouled. Referee says nothing going on. And Kelly gets the ball away. Tries a lob over...
oh my word!
Oh! What an absolutely outstanding effort from Marcus Kelly. Goalkeeper was way off his line, a la David Beckham, and he just hits the bar. A T-shirt, I think, will be going his way.
Well, no, it's just behind, isn't it? It's hit that stanchion that holds the netting up. And I tell you what, a foot to the right.
Foot to the right, and that was Goal of the season.
That'd be 2 seasons in a row. The goal of the season would have been here at Stratford, but he's now found. It's Honus who tries a half volley, gets underneath it, high, wide, not very handsome, and it's a goal kick. But yeah, that was an incredible effort from.
It was
Marcus
fantastic.
Kelly. If that had gone in, I think we might as well have just packed up and gone home, because nothing is ever getting.
And also that is being filmed, so hopefully the St Neots might include that on their highlights. If so, we'll try and borrow that from them, so you can see that fantastic effort from Marcus Kelly. And
he's inside his own half.
He was. It was fantastic. Kettering on the chase again, but out comes Reynolds. There's a little bit more to do in this second half, a bit like White had to do with the wind. Meikle fighting for the ball, but it's been cleared, and it's the number 12 Stanley on the far side. He finds Sheriff. Sheriff only gives the ball away though. It's Berry with the ball, feeds it long. Honus would have been offside. Cry of shoot from one person, from Kelly, but wasn't in the right position that time. Hurd then for the home side into the centre of the park. Good play here from St Neots. Finds Williams. Williams puts the ball through. Should be headed out. It is. Luckily though by Berry. He finds Borg. Borg chasing back in his own half, but only puts the ball out though. Meikle not happy with that. A throw on the far side. Taken quickly. Stanley's got the ball. Back to Sheriff. Back to Mills. Mills to Sembi Ferris. And nicked by Meikle, and away now come Kettering. There's only Honus up front. Inside comes Meikle, inside the half. He's firing away. He's now set to Honus off. It's a chase for Honus. There's nobody in that penalty area yet. In comes Milnes now. On his right foot still. Finds Milnes. Kelly's been told to shoot. He takes the ball backwards. Having to play the ball backwards to Towers now in his own half. Towers there's a nice body check, puts the ball forward to Richards. If Richards can keep this onside, he can. He keeps it in. He's down by the byline. Richards puts one through, back post. Borg though, 3'10", can't get there, and it's cleared only to Meikle. Meikle finds Roe Turner. Roe Turner puts the ball back to Meikle on the far side. Halfway into the half, he floats one in. There's Richards at the back, headed down. Nobody following up, and cleared desperately by St Neots, who come away with the ball. Cleared by Stanley, and that makes Berry have to play the ball back to Paul White, which he does. Kettering having a good 5-10 minute spell here, putting St Neots under a lot more pressure than they have done. Ball comes in from White. It's Honus who is onside. He finds Borg. Can Borg score his third in 3 games? He comes inside. Penalty and he's fouled. Penalty!
Yes, it is!
Borg has been brought down in the penalty area. We did say we'd like to see his pace running at them, and once again the referee points to that spot. Brett Salkin is not on the park. It's going to be interesting to see who takes this one now. It's going to be Honus, who scored 3 out of 3.
That was stone wall.
Yes, absolute penalty, and it gives Kettering a chance to go 2 ahead here. Brett Salkin champing at the bit to come back on, but he can't. His head is in his hands. He can't watch. Nor can Mark Seven, who's in front of me here. He's buried himself in Gary Foreman's lap. I think that's what he's doing.
10 penalties out of 10 so far this season. Can Honus make it 11 from 11? Yes,
he does!
And 2-0, and with hardly any time left of the game, Kettering, after a hard-fought 80 minutes or so, finally look like they're a little bit more comfortable and could be taking the 3 points shortly down the road back to Northamptonshire.
Yeah, some of the St Neots fans are getting up and leaving already, or it might be some of the neutrals, I'm not quite sure.
Let's be honest, they've shown in recent weeks that they're kings of scoring late goals.
They are.
There's not a lot of time left to go. There's only about 8 minutes left on the clock, but 8 minutes is more than enough to score 2 goals. And as you see, there's not that many that are leaving. A lot of them are staying. half expecting maybe there to be a late charge on the Kettering goal.
We've had 2 miracles in the last 2 games. Have St Neots at 2-2 here with a 95th minute goal, and they were 3-1 down with 5 minutes to go at Colville, winning that one on penalties, getting back to 3-3. So nothing can be taken for granted, but it does make Kettering a little easier. Away comes St Neots now. It's down to Wharton. Wharton has got Kelly Evans in front of them, trying to juggle with Kelly Evans. It comes off Evans, and that is a corner to St Neots. The home fans getting roused by this, and it's going to be left for the number 2 here, Matt Miles, to take this. Kettering only got Honus up front. Luke Graham warming up on the far side. But this is a corner. Paul White there. He's got his arms aloft. In it comes now, back post here. Towers does enough to distract Taylor Parr from getting his head on it, and it goes for a throw-in on the far side that Kettering will take their time to take. And all those Kettering fans behind that goal mouth, sigh of relief. 2-0 to the Poppies. So Roe Turner ambles over to take this, eating up valuable seconds of this game. One that in the first half the Neots were full disappointed they didn't capitalise on, as they had the better of the first half. As we said, it's been the story of the wind, really. It's been in Kettering's favour, and the pace of the Kettering front line has had a lot of teams this season in panic mode, and Borg certainly put that one to bed there. Blatant foul, and Reynolds kicks the ball out to the cheer of the Kettering fans behind the goal. Roe Turner taking this. Luke Graham waiting, I think, to come on. Not sure if he is going to come on, but a few fans deciding to leave now to beat the rush. As a handball there, but Meikle can't win the ball back, gives it away. Over the halfway line now are St Neots, and it is Sembi Ferris. Might try a snapshot, intercepted by Meikle. It hits the back of Kelly, and a push by Sembi Ferris on Ben Milnes, and he fires the ball back at the Kettering player. Milnes wants some action taken, saying it was deliberate. I think it was more just frustration more than anything else, and it's their own time they're wasting. So Paul White then going to take this, taking his time once again, no problem with that. He's moved the ball back about 8 inches, 9 inches, now about 2 foot. Places it down. So White about to address the ball, puts it into play towards Richards on the far side. Richards does win the header. It comes to Meikle. Meikle heads the ball back towards Richards. Bit of a head tennis. Richards wins that one. He finds Mahonis. He's got Borg on the left-hand side. In comes Mahonis. Going to ring at them again. Dances around with his feet. It's cleared by the St Neots defender, only to Meikle. Meikle now going to run them. He finds Borg. Borg on the touchline on the far side. Comes inside. Again, good work from Borg. Flicks the ball through. Borg much right shot. Does. It's blocked. Here's Kelly. Goal from Marcus Kelly at the near post. Game, set and match. And that is it. Lovely work from Borg. Passes the ball to Kelly. Beats Reynolds at the near post. Game over.
Well, what a good goal again from Kettering. Marcus Kelly putting the icing on the cake of what hasn't been a vintage Kettering performance. And 3-0, I don't know, could you argue flatters Kettering a little bit, the 3 goals, but they played very well. They played better in the second half than they did in the first half. They needed to. And Kelly shows his class again.
It's with that time, Ed, where we've got to think about the Kettering man of the match, and certainly in the second half there's a few contenders. I'll let you have a think about that one, but it has been a good Kettering Town second half performance, and indeed they are going to make a substitution. I think coming on in a minute will be Edmund Hotter to see out this game, and it is either going to be Honus, I think, or Marcus Kelly, both who've played exceptionally well. And Marcus Kelly gets the ball away. He's setting off from Honus. Honus got a chase on here. It's Miles against Honus. Miles is underneath it. Honus turns him, but Miles does well. He gets the ball back. Honus beats him though. Does ever so well, and that little kick out. Here comes Honus. Cut this before. He got Kelly with him. Blocked. Still Honus. Blocked again. Still Honus. Trying to find Borg. Borg gets it. Resistance is futile as Borg gets back into the corner flag. Kettering could have had a 4th goal there. Borg does exceptionally well. Comes inside here and is going to be tripped. He's still got the ball. He might hit it. He's going to hit the ball. Shoot is the cry. He doesn't. He does a dummy. He fires through to Ben Mills. Mills fires one in. Oh! Mills misses the sitter. He goes by the post. Borg was toying with them there. It was fantastic work from the youngster from Peterborough. He puts the ball through to Ben Mills, who had a little bit of time, and that went just wide the post. That would have been the icing on the cake.
It would have been. Mills, I think, was just caught between a cross and a shot, but Borg, it's fair to say, has made a couple of the St Neots Town defenders there look a little bit silly.
Well, it's good.
One went into slide tackle, got nowhere near Borg, but did take out his teammate roughly at knee height as well. So it would have been a red card. So final substitution. Oh, sorry, final two substitutions. Richins comes off, and I think it's Hotter coming on, and Toslin's going to come on for number 14, Marcus Kelly. Well, there seems to be a... sorry, we went quiet. We're listening to a battle of the crowds from left.
Oh, you're looking at the substitution, the board there. It said number 1. The 4th digit wasn't in fact showing.
Not working, is it?
Not working, but it is Marcus Kelly that's gone off.
Yeah, we can assure you Paul White isn't going off for Ben Tosland.
No, that would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? With no goalkeeper. Although we have got Lewis Elsom on the bench, but he wasn't called for. 3-0 to the Poppies, and a convincing second half for Marcus Law's side. It didn't look that way in the first half, as St Neots had the better of that period, but certainly with the wind in Kettering's favour and the pace of Kettering's attack, that as we say, a lot of teams can't deal with the pace of Kettering. St Neots have been punished severely for it.
Kettering have done the one thing today that St Neots didn't do, and that was take advantage of the wind.
Exactly.
You see, the amount of times that Kettering got forward, it was Paul White hitting a long one into the corners, into the channels, getting someone to pull on. Yeah, there's a pulling of the shirt. Well, the St Neots player there was trying to take the shirt off Dion Kelly-Evans' back. I know it's a nice thing to be playing in a Kettering shirt, but I think you've got to earn it a different way, as Dylan Williams is adjudged to have fouled Dion Kelly-Evans, much to the annoyance of the home fans. And there's going to be a yellow card for Nabil Sharif for dissent as well now. As we have now ticked over to the 90th minute.
Makes you wonder who Nabil Sharif will play against Kettering for again in this season.
Yes, it's not the last we've seen of him.
Not the last of it we've seen of him. No, he normally plays against us 3 or 4 times.
So, I guess we should probably come to a general consensus on man of the match, shouldn't we? Should we ask our wonderful directors?
Yes, we'll give the directors the chance here to, as Ed is doing that. I will carry on with the commentary. It is Paul White then with this goal kick as we're into, I'd say, time added on. Nothing been shown yet by the referee. Kelly-Evans wins that. He's found Borg, who swaps sides now. Borg turns one way, turns the other. He's been sandwiched by 2. Referee says nothing going. Away comes St Neots. Meikle gets a touch on, but it's Sembi Ferris. He gives the ball away though to Ben Toslin's first touch. Toslin a bit slow there, still has the ball being chopped at, and the ball has been given away. It's Stanley, and Stanley goes down. There's a bit of argy-bargy now from the number 10 Dylan Williams on Roe Turner, and referee is calling the back. There's still a bit of pushing and shoving going on, this time with Hotter, who's only come on a few moments ago.
Well, we went between Kelly and Honus.
Yes.
Gary Foreman chucked Lyndon Meikle in the mix, which I think is very interesting and well deserved. But the name that came up more than the others was Reese Honus, so I think we'll go with Reese. Pushing and shoving going on the box again. Referee Abby Marriott not having any of that. She's letting them know as a as the tissue causes havoc in the director's box.
Yeah, we're sat on some nice plush seats, actually, nice and padded. I could do this every week, actually. It's lovely.
Very
great
nice
view, very well looked after here by the St Neots people, and it's been a good non-league day for the Poppers as this free kick comes in high, and
oh no, it's kept in.
Kept in. Paul White though leaves it, goes out for goal kick as the St Neots fans are getting quite raucous.
They have. They've enjoyed their afternoon.
They've enjoyed their afternoon. You know, it's they don't see many home goals, so we've seen 3 goals
a
away
third
from
of
home.
all of the goals that St Neots have conceded have come today so far this season.
Indeed, they have, and a very convincing win in the second half for the Poppies, who travel to Tamworth on Tuesday. Let's hope they can carry on the away form, and of course, that one defeat at home against Leiston in Kettering's armoury at the moment. Paul White playing a long goal kick. It's headed back into play to Ferris, who puts the ball out. Roe Turner ambles over to take it. Nothing happening so far. Retrieves the ball from the coach on the far side. Colville Town 1, Needham Market 2, I've just heard, which would be great for the Poppies if that is the case. And there goes the final whistle. So nothing was actually given on the boards for added on time. Convincing second half display by the Poppies. And we hope to get a few words with manager Marcus Law in a little while, which will be on our Poppies TV website later on this evening or first thing tomorrow morning.
Yep, and we've given man of the match to Rhys Honus, but it will shoot off and they'll go and get those interviews for you. But it's finished here at the Premier Plus Stadium. St Neots Town 0, Kettering Town 3. Join us again on Tuesday for Tamworth. Bye bye.